Customer's perspective. So far, we have only looked at assessment from the point of view of the teachers and the learners. However, assessment should also include how the sponsors and the corporate customers take assessment of a course. So, customers and corporate customers who might not necessarily be the participants of a course, they might be more interested in whether what is the impact of the course at the workplace? Has the course been able to bring about a change or a benefit to the organization? And they would not perhaps be as interested in whether the participants were satisfied or whether the course has met the said objectives. Similarly, an educational establishment might be more interested in what were the effects of the course on its marketing strategies and on its overall reputation, rather than whether the learners were satisfied with the course and whether the course objectives were met. The business English teacher needs to know about the cost of courses, and it is part of the business English teacher's trade. Some of these costs are fairly self-explanatory, particularly in an in-company context. These include hiring people, providing equipment, administration materials, and so on. However, there are other less immediately obvious costs which are more significant for the company or the institution. So we have opportunity costs in which learners on a course do not do their real jobs for which they are being paid and which are of benefit for the company. For example, teachers in an institution are sent to do a course in another city or another country. So they would be leaving their jobs and they would not be actually working for the institution at that time. The course participants, for example, could be highly paid senior managers, and the teachers' fees as compared to their pays would be insignificant in comparison. Waiting costs refer to the costs which are incurred by the company because it has to be kept waiting for the training to be kept out. For example, the case of a company which has got a license to operate in an English-speaking country, but it does not have the trained staff to carry out its work in English, so it will incur a loss because of this waiting. Interference costs are incurred because the training interferes with other people's jobs. The staff in the departments cannot carry out their duties as their managers are on a course or the manager is absent. Cost, however, is not itself a deciding factor when it comes to course assessment. It is more about how these costs relate to the teaching benefits. How does the company benefit from its employees doing this and participating in a particular course? So organizations use various approaches to help them think about the cost and benefit ratio. One way is to look at payback, which makes a straight comparison between the cost of the training and the savings made, which we can call the income which was earned in consequence. And the payback asks how readily will the costs be covered by the savings or the income. So will the company actually benefit by the savings which it had made as a consequence? Then the cost-benefit ratio compares the training cost with tangible and intangible benefits. The intangible benefits can be the improved workplace environment, more motivation, reduced stress, and enhanced customer relationships. But factors in evaluation, although these are very difficult to spell out in financial terms, but such intangible benefits are taken into consideration when assessing and evaluating a course. Return on investment, ROI, is essentially the inverse ratio, return being the benefit. And this type of an approach views transaction as an investment rather than focusing only on the cost. So it looks at whether the money which was spent in the employees doing a course are the resources which the company had invested so that there could be a return later on. The company also looks at alternate investment. For example, what would be the cost benefit of hiring English speaking faculty against training own employees? What would be the cost benefit of using interpreters rather than hiring English speaking employees or carrying out English training for their employees? Such issues are usually not the concern of the teachers themselves. The business English teacher would not be involved in such calculations, but the HR is usually required to carry out analysis before decisions about a course, assessments about a course are made. However, the teachers are affected by how the courses are being assessed. So the freelance teacher who wants to charge a little bit more than the competitors in the market might diplomatically point out to the HR that his or her fees is a small amount of the total expenditure or the equation of the whole course. However, such sort of opportunity of being involved in the assessment and the finances of a course does give awareness to the learner about various factors of the course administration. Awareness of opportunity and interference costs helps the teacher to understand why the managers are only available to attend the course in the evenings. And although their learning would be diminished by the fact that they have been on their desks all day long, still that is the only time which is available for them. The business English teacher needs to keep in mind that sponsors need to be able to see the benefits of the training. So the best way to do is to meet and discuss such issues with the boss. This would be of more benefit than just using the tests and the feedback sheets.